Hello everyone, my name is PG Keeps and today we're here with a special video, a Dragon Ball What If. This is only part 1 and if this video sees any kind of recognition or if I just feel like continuing it, there will be more parts in the future. I just cannot promise you it will be soon. I don't want to drag my feet, so without further ado, what if Beerus destroyed Earth? My lord, the timeline has been prepared for your intervention. The man's voice was soft, almost reminiscent of Whis' voice, yet still remarkably different. Thank you, Zutris, a man replied, waving his hand. Let's have a look at this story. As you wish, Lord Akira, Zutris replied, tapping his staff against the floor. Age 761, it has only been a mere few months since the defeat of the tyrant Lord Frieza, and the Z warriors are coming to terms with the death of Son Goku, or so they thought. Gohan dropped his books as shock came across his face. A familiar power came into orbit as he took off flying out of his house. Chi-Chi shouting for him to come back as his departure was so sudden, but he wasn't the only one. Vegeta's face had a scowl on it as he flew towards that power. Piccolo looked concerned, already positioned where the power would land. After a few minutes, Krillin, Piccolo, Vegeta, and Gohan all stood in a barren wasteland as a spaceship came flying towards the Earth's surface. The pod crashed into the Earth, steaming as the door slowly popped open. Vegeta raised his palm, aiming a prepared Big Bang attack towards the pod as a hand sprouted out, and suddenly from the steam, Son Goku stumbled out of the ship, battered and bruised. Vegeta scoffed, lowering his palm as the energy dissipated. Dad, Gohan shouted, running towards his father and throwing himself against his chest. Goku gave a strained chuckle as he ruffled his son's hair. Hey little guy, he said with a smirk. I was almost elated that you may have been dead, Kakarot. Welcome back, Vegeta said, turning his back and flying back towards Capsule Corporation. Krillin ran up to Goku, dropping to a knee as he fetched a Senzu bean from his pocket and fed it to Goku. What the hell happened? The dragon said you were dead, Krillin shouted at the recovering Goku. Goku sat up, his clothes were tattered as if he had just escaped the original destroyed planet Namek. I honestly have no clue. Goku started, when I woke up after killing Frieza, I was already in the ship, and now I'm here with you guys. Goku chuckled and shrugged. He wasn't quite sure about the specifics of the situation he was currently in, but he was glad that he was alive and with his friends and family. Goku walked into his humble home atop Mount Paozu. When he walked in, Chi-Chi was shocked. Goku, holding his son by the hand, chuckled and said, Hey Chi-Chi. She dropped the plates she was holding and ran into Goku's arms, hugging him tightly as tears dropped from her face. Goku, you're alive, she muttered, her words barely audible from under her tears and groans. Goku hugged his wife back and planted a kiss on her forehead. I will never leave you like that again. Chi-Chi's cries grew louder as she gripped Goku tighter, feeling as if she let him go, she'd never see him again. A few weeks of calm would pass. This was strange for the Earth and its warriors. Goku heard a knock at his door. He had already sensed the person's power approaching, so it wasn't a surprise to him. Goku swung his door open. Hey Vegeta, he shouted with a smile on his face. You're loud, idiot, follow me. Goku told Chi-Chi he'd be right back as he followed Vegeta to the wasteland where he landed. Who the hell are you? Vegeta said, his arms crossed as he stared down Goku. Goku tilted his head in confusion. Huh? The hell are you talking about, Vegeta? Goku asked, but before he could get an answer, Vegeta's fist came flying towards his face, catching him off guard and sending him skidding back. Who the hell are you and where is the real Kakarot? Vegeta shouted in anger, soaring towards Goku as he slammed a knee into his stomach. Goku dropped to his knees, coughing up spit as he held his stomach. A flash of anger hit Goku's eyes as he returned his own attacks, a kick to Vegeta's head which sent him flying through the mountains. Goku followed with great speed, jumping into the air as he brought his hands together at his hips. The air around them trembled. The light from the energy being condensed in his hands replaced the sun's light, his teeth gritting as the power built. Kamehameha. Goku shouted, his voice reverberating through the canyons around them. From the ground a purple light grew as Vegeta fired his own attack, Gaelic Gunnn. He shouted back as the beams clashed, the power shaking the earth, but before anyone could acknowledge it, a stronger power shook the air around them. Let's go back a few hours. On a planet far, far away from Earth, a being of immense power woke. A purple cat-like being stretched and yawned as he scratched his head. Whis, fetch me some water. The being spoke as a man with pale blue skin brought a glass of water to the man. Morning Lord Beerus, You still have 30 or so years before you were supposed to wake. Is something the matter, my lord? Beerus took a sip of his drink. Forgive me if I'm mistaken, but I do recall telling Frieza to get rid of the Saiyans, correct? Beerus asked, rubbing his eyes. Whis sighed, correct my lord. He replied, floating ever so slightly above the ground. Beerus stood. I had a dream, a strange one. He said, walking towards a table that had many orbs that each represented a planet. One referring to a so-called Super Saiyan god. Would you happen to know anything about that, Whis? Beerus spoke. At the same time he picked up a marble, eyed it for a few seconds before crushing it, and light years away, the planet was destroyed, exploding into space debris. Whis cleared his throat. To my knowledge there are only 6 remaining pure-blooded Saiyan, and 1 half-breed. Whis answered, looking into the orb that was attached to his staff. Though it seems like a Saiyan by the name of Son Goku was able to kill Frieza just a few months ago. Beerus scratched his chin, looking for the marble that represented Earth. Let's make a visit. Returning to the present, Goku and Vegeta stood frozen in place as Beerus and Whis descended upon them. Cease your squabbling. Where is the Saiyan known as Son Goku? Beerus asked, landing gently on the floor. Goku, holding his side as he looked up, but as he did, he made eye contact with Beerus. Beerus suddenly appeared directly in front of him. You must be the one who defeated Frieza. With how weak you are, I cannot see how. He muttered, studying Goku. Vegeta was frozen in complete fear. The god of destruction, Lord Beerus, was here in front of him, and he couldn't move a muscle, he couldn't even produce a sound. Eh? Is that Prince Vegeta? Oh, how you've grown. Beerus mocked, laughing to himself. Beerus's demeanor changed in an instant as his eyes locked with Goku. Face me. Before Goku could even react, Beerus slammed a fist into Goku's face, sending him crashing into the earth, cratering the ground underneath him. In the next instant, Beerus appeared in front of Vegeta, plucking him on the forehead and sending him flying into the canyons. Goku grit his teeth as he flew towards Beerus, slamming his fist into his jaw, but Beerus did not move an inch. Is this seriously the strength that defeated Frieza? I might as well end Saiyan life myself at this point, alongside this planet. He muttered to himself, no longer interested in Goku, but suddenly, Vegeta shot up, using a ki blast as a weapon as he slammed it into Beerus's chest, causing smoke to rise, but doing no damage. Beerus sighed, plunging his hand through Vegeta's chest in an instant, letting his body flop to the floor. Goku's eyes widened. This was the second time he had watched Vegeta die in front of him, and it broke something within him. Beerus raised his hand, a supernova appearing above it as he snickered, off with this planet. But suddenly, thunder struck. The images of all his friends and family flashed in front of Goku's eyes, his blood boiling. Veins popping all over him as his muscle mass began to increase, his pupils disappeared, his hair began to flow, and his power began to rise as he shouted, I will not let you destroy my life. As his Super Saiyan power exploded, his hair turning golden as he used all of his strength to punch Beerus, and he only barely made Beerus budge, and in that second, Beerus sighed, I thought you would show me something interesting, Saiyan, goodbye. And with those words, he released the supernova on the planet, turning the earth into a fiery hell, and ceasing the peaceful life that Son Goku knew. Son Goku floated through the vacuum of space. He has lost all track of time. He has lost all feeling besides the growing anger that kept him alive. Beerus, the god of destruction who destroyed everything Goku cared about, stripping everything that made him Son Goku away. It was strange, but suddenly, the nameless Saiyan began to feel something almost similar to that of the mysterious man who floated beside Beerus. The Saiyan couldn't bring himself to move, but he suddenly heard a voice resonate through his head. Is power what you seek? The question came out of nowhere, but there was only one answer to that. Yes, the Saiyan replied, and suddenly, he was pulled through space, and transported to a strange planet. The Saiyan shot up, looking around in confusion as he sensed the presence of the voice that had spoken to him. A man with pale white skin, obsidian black curled horns, white hair and strange clothing. Kakarot, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. The man's voice was ethereal, he spoke through the mind, not physically. You can call me Shah. Kakarot looked down at his hands, his body was covered in scars, kind of like awakened Maki, but before he could speak, he vomited a black liquid all over the floor. Kakarot, which is what we will be calling him for the rest of the story, forced himself to stand up as he took in the world around him. Shah stood up next to him, handing him the power pole. It will be of use. Shah said, and then that's when Kakarot realized that the man was blind. Kakarot took the power pole and slung it against his back as he took in his surroundings. The planet was the definition of alien, monstrous plants all over the place, flying creatures the size of blimps, and predators more strange than the dinosaurs and demi-humans that roamed Earth. Shaw followed Kakarot around, hovering behind him like an ever-present overseer. Look, I get it, you saved me and all, and I really appreciate it, but do you seriously have to follow me around like this? Kakarot spoke, already getting annoyed. The shift in his personality from Goku to who he is today was frightening yet understandable. Shaw chuckled. Oh, don't mind me, Kakarot, but you might want to pay attention to what's in front of you. Suddenly from behind a tree, a man with greenish-blue skin, orange hair, and a red sash over his clothing dashed forward, swinging his sword from above towards Kakarot. Surprised, Kakarot quickly equipped his power pole, parrying Kogu's attack but still being pushed back. Who the hell are you? And how'd you get on Captain Bojack's planet? Kogu shouted, unleashing an onslaught of slashes that Kakarot was barely able to deflect. Kogu slammed a boot into Kakarot's chest, sending him sprawling back as Shaw simply watched and levitated out of the way. Kakarot noticed that Kogu didn't even acknowledge Shaw, or more accurately, couldn't. Kakarot rolled across the floor, but quickly pushed himself back up, gritting his teeth as his power started to build. Kogu watched, wary yet still confident. Kakarot's hair began to flow, veins bulging on his body, Kaioken time 10. Kakarot shouted as a red aura took over his body, his muscles bulging, skyrocketing his 5 million power level to 50 million, causing Kogu to stumble back slightly. Kakarot charged in with an overhead slam. Kogu raised his sword to block it, but Kakarot vanished, appearing behind him and sweeping his legs with his power pole and kicking him in the chin. Kakarot followed the attack with a few homing ki blasts before he jumped into the air and brought his hands to his hips, a blue ball of ki being condensed as his ki flared, Kamehameha. His power level rose again, the beam of power surged toward Kogu who had finally had enough, bulking in size as he sliced the beam in half. Speed blitzed Kakarot and grasped his face tightly. Listen mate, I better not see you again, or I'll kill you. Kogu wasn't bluffing. Kakarot's Kaioken dispersed as Kogu threw him to the floor and flew away from the area. Kakarot writhed in pain as he struggled to push himself back up to his feet. Shaw, who the hell was that? Kakarot shouted. Kogu, the vice-captain of the galaxy soldiers that pillaged this planet, and the second strongest person here. If you want to make it off this planet alive, I need you to kill the entire squad. Shaw said with a strange smile on his face, his eyes barely opened. Kakarot scoffed, spitting out blood as he made his way towards a cave. Why the hell didn't he attack you? Kakarot asked, sitting against the cold stone walls of the cave. Because only you can see me, Kakarot, because I chose you. If you have made it this far, I am really thankful and would love some feedback as I loved writing this. As I stated previously, this is only part 1 and another will come later and the next parts will definitely be longer. Anyways, I have been PG Keeps and I hope to see you again soon.